So the biopsy results have come back for my husband. Let me give you guys just a little bit of a background on this before we jump into what the fuck is wrong with everything right now. So you may have been here already where I mentioned to you that my husband has been going through some like skin issues. We're not quite sure what happened. He got bit by a, what do we call it? A yellow fly. A lot of y'all called them horse flies up north, but here in the south, I guess it's a yellow fly. I think different names, different states kind of thing. He got bit by one in May or June, and the bite still had not healed, right? And it was getting gross, and it was just, we don't want to go into full detail, but it was really gross, right? So he went to urgent care because, as a lot of you also may be aware of if you've been here before, we canceled our insurance. We decided that paying $1,200 a month for my husband, myself, and our daughter for insurance that was just subpar to begin with and very hard to get any kind of doctor's visit with our insurance anyway, it was pointless. We were spending $1,200 a month on something that we were not getting any results from or being able to use, right? So we canceled it, and each month, instead of spending that money on an insurance plan, we just put it over into savings, which is going to end up coming in handy now after these biopsy results. So he got bit by the yellow fly and it wasn't getting any better, so we went to urgent care where you pay $125 to go in, you get seen, you go over everything that's going on, and then they give you a prescription or tell you what you need to do, whatever else. $125 without insurance, right? Much cheaper than paying $1,200 for the month. So he goes to urgent care and they say, hey, you know what? This may be a staph infection. That may be why you're not healing correctly. So we're going to give you a antibiotic for the staph infection, and we're going to give you a prescription for a cream to put on the bite, right? And at this point, he had 2 spots on his leg, all right? 2 spots on his leg. That is it. Nothing else anywhere else on his body. So he takes these antibiotics, and it doesn't get any better. In fact, new spots start popping up, and we're kind of like, what the crap is happening? So we go to make an appointment with an actual, I don't want to say actual doctor because that feels wrong, but a non-urgent care. We went to a different doctor, like in a doctor's office hospital situation. And we go in and explain to the doctor exactly what had gone on with the fly bite, with the antibiotics we were already on, and everything else. And they prescribe another round of the exact same antibiotics for staph and another tube of the exact same topical cream. Now, my husband, I let him go by himself, which is where the mess up came. I should have gone with him. And I know that sounds stupid, but I feel like, ladies, you'll understand this, that a lot of times we will give more information than the men will. For some reason, maybe it's because we notice things that they don't notice, or we pay attention to certain things, or we just recall details differently or better or whatever else. Especially if you have kids, you've learned to kind of categorize different things and hold on to random information, right? And so what he did not tell the doctor when he went and saw her was that he had new things that were popping up after being on these antibiotics, which in theory could mean that he was having a reaction to said antibiotics. But she put him on the same ones, and he took the same ones, and everything started getting worse. Then he started getting spots on his chest and on his hands, on his feet, on different parts of his legs. Nothing on his back, really, nothing on his face, nothing on his head, anything like that. But it was starting to get very concerning, right? Because nothing was healing and new things were popping up. And I'm like, okay, well, you're on antibiotics, you're using these creams, what's going on? So step 3 was go to a dermatologist. So we went to a dermatologist. I say we because I don't know why. I was not there with him. He went to a dermatologist. I guess we, because we do everything together and I'm part of everything with him, so I use we, but he went to a dermatologist by himself, and they did a biopsy of one of the spots on his chest. Now, let me say, the spots on his chest look nothing like the spots on his legs. 180-degree difference between there, which look nothing like the spots that are going on with his hands, his fingertips, or with his feet, anything like that. Every single area looks different on his body, which is in and of itself concerning as hell, because you have to ask yourself, you're like, okay, is this from a bite? Is this an allergic reaction to the antibiotics? Is this from something? Have we changed anything? New laundry detergent, new foods, new any of this? And the answer, no, we haven't changed anything in anything we've used. Doesn't mean the manufacturers haven't changed anything in their ingredients, and we just don't know whether it's in anything topical or outside the body, like the laundry detergents and the whatnots, or it's something he's consuming with the foods and whatever else. Who the hell knows what's going on in that situation? But anyway, Goes to the dermatologist, they do a biopsy of up here. You guys probably saw the video. If you haven't, I'll put it at the end of this video somewhere on the screen, of where he went to the Pro Health to get his blood work done, and they were just absolutely awful. Customer service has gone to absolute shit, and it's really bad when it's in an area that you are having your own personal issues and you're trying to get them figured out, right? And you go to these places and the customer service is trash. They forget about you. They don't send you your results. There's prolonged wondering and guessing for no apparent reason. But anyway, I digress. So the dermatologist prescribed him a new kind of cream ointment that was not like the first ones that he was given, and it was for the areas on his chest, for areas that had not, let's be gross here, sorry, had pus or, you know, skin missing or anything like that. I don't really know how to put that so it doesn't sound as gross as it is, but it's actually pretty gross. They prescribed one of those. So when we were there, when he was there, the dermatologist gave him one of these cards. They're like, hey, you know, go use GoodRx. It'll help you get a discount. I had already signed up for GoodRx. When we got rid of our health insurance, I paid $179 to get GoodRx Gold, because if you ever need a prescription for anything, it does help you save money, right? Side note, not sponsored. I'm just letting you guys know what we do since we don't have regular insurance, right? So I paid $179 for Gold on GoodRx, and it does save a like significant amount. When we went the first time to get the antibiotics, they wanted $65 for them. With GoodRx, we paid $14. So I'm like, that's pretty good, right? Especially since they did it to him twice, and 2 creams and everything else. So I'm thinking, all right, we have GoodRx, that'll help with the stuff. So the new cream he got was, I think, like $15 or $16, nothing crazy. And then they gave him another antibiotic, which is a daily dose of a very micro dose for 30 days of a different type of antibiotic, not for staph infection, and that ended up costing us $11. Okay, so the GoodRx prescription thing is helping a lot there. So he gets the biopsy done. We're waiting on the results. He's using the cream. He's taking the antibiotics, and nothing is really truly getting better. They said to use a polysporin on the area where he had the biopsy, not a neosporin, because something with neosporin doesn't react well to something else. They said use polysporin. I don't remember why they said that. I wasn't in the room, and I'm having to base this off, you know, my husband trying to remember everything and tell me. So we went and got a polysporin for the area that they did the biopsy on his chest. And the areas that had started kind of not looking as bad on his leg, we started using the polysporin there. And I noticed that the polysporin helped his legs heal up much faster than the creams and the whatevers he was using that were prescription based, right? That had something in them. So I'm like, I'm telling you, you're allergic to something here. Either way, the biopsy results come back. Now, I want you to know, they had his blood tested for everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. They tested for vitamin deficiencies. They tested for all kinds of stuff. They tested for STDs. They tested for anything possible that could try to explain what was going on with his skin. What I do find interesting, and let me be the very first one to mention this, probably not the very first one, but today. Anyway, they did not mention anything with, what are you eating? How are you, like, what are you putting into your body? None of those questions were asked. And I think it's very important to know and to point out the fact that the things that we eat, the things that we consume, have a lot to do with how our body reacts internally and externally, meaning your skin, meaning your organs, absolutely everything, right? Y'all know this. You're smart. That's why we're here together, because we understand each other, right? So they call and they say the biopsy has come back. Now, we happen to be at lunch when the phone call comes in. My daughter, my husband, and myself, we're at lunch when the phone call comes in. He gets up, leaves, goes to take the phone call. So I don't get to hear anything. I don't hear anything. He comes back and he sits down and he says, well, they think it's a level of a certain type of psoriasis. So immediately I'm pulling out my phone and, you know, grokking and looking up what, you know, psoriasis this, psoriasis that. And everything I'm coming across says, you know, it starts with your gut microbiome. Like, everything has to do with your gut. You need to have some fermented food. You need to have this, and this. And, you know, watch out for gluten and watch out for processed foods and sugars and whatnot. And I'm like, all right, so we're about to eat clean as hell up in this house, right? Well, then he says, hey, you know, the dermatologist wants me to come by and pick up this medicine that they want me to try to see if that helps. And I'm like, okay. Again, they didn't say, hey, maybe we should work on what you're eating. They didn't mention that. They said, let's go get this medicine. So we go back to the dermatologist. Now, I would like to say that the dermatologist that he is seeing, that he's seen once, and, you know, been in communication with, they have been very, very good. Okay, they've been very good to him, because there are a lot of people out there who will take advantage of a situation when you don't have insurance. Some will take advantage of it and charge you an arm and a leg for stuff. And that's kind of what we're getting into with, unfortunately, where I'm going with this. So they say he has a form of psoriasis. This is still, this is preliminary, really, because he goes back to see them in, I think, 3 more weeks. Once he finishes the antibiotics that they have him on and everything else, they want to see him in 3 weeks. Well, so far, there's 3 weeks he's been on the antibiotics, hasn't done shit. So I'm assuming nothing's going to happen from those. Well, they prescribed him, well, they didn't prescribe him. They gave him a medicine to try. And when he went to the dermatologist the first time, the lady said, this is what she told him. She said, you need to make sure that you have commercial insurance with really good drug coverage. And he said, well, I don't have commercial insurance. That's normally through your employer. He goes, I'm self-employed, media marketing, because we don't really tell people what we do, right? Media marketing. And she says, well, you're going to be looking at about 20 grand a month if this comes back as bad as it could come back. And I'm like, ma'am, what the hell, right? Like, immediately, like, why would anything cost 20 grand a month? So then, y'all, I now have medication in my hand that he was given to try. Now, the good news is they gave him the starter packs. All right, gave him the starter packs. You guys can see the name on the screen. I don't want to say it because I don't know what YouTube will do, because they don't like having certain conversations. So here you go. I immediately look up the cost of said medicine. You know what? Fuck it. Otezla. We're just going to go with it. And what happens, happens. I looked up the cost of Otezla without insurance. And it says you're looking at $5,000 to $6,500 a month without insurance for a month's supply of Otezla. Okay. So then I pull up GoodRx. And I'm like, well, we have this. What does it do? Not a damn thing. Just FYI, so everybody's fully aware, GoodRx gets you 0 discount on Otezla. Not a single penny off of it. Does not work at all. Now you know. So then my bestie, Lindsay, she says, hey, I've been getting a lot of my stuff through Amazon Pharmacy. You should check them out. Their prices are much better. And I was like, all right, cool, because I have Amazon Prime. Pay what, $12 a month or some shit? Like $12 or $14 a month for Amazon Prime, whatever. So I look it up. When I tell you, I don't know what emotion hit me harder, intense rage or comedic relief. Like, I don't know which. I wore this for a reason. Swearing helps, because a lot of words came out of my mouth once I pulled up Amazon Pharmacy to see how much Otezla would cost on Amazon Pharmacy. And I would like you to know, I'm going to show you. Prescription required. Okay, that's number 1. I want to show you this part. I'm going to cover up the top part because I think it's going to be way more interesting that way. You ready? All right. So here you are. $2,715 for Otezla without insurance if you have Amazon Prime. And I'm like, normally it's $3,200 though, $3,189 for a month's supply on Amazon if you don't have Prime, or maybe it's on sale. I don't know what the hell's going on there with that part. But either way, I'm like, all right, that's definitely better than $6 grand. They've basically cut the cost in half, which is good to know. Your doctor's going to charge you $6 grand. Amazon's going to charge you right around $3. If you have insurance, would you like to know how much you pay for Otezla for a month's supply? $12 fucking dollars. Can anybody explain to me why in the absolute fuck is it $12 with insurance and $6 grand without it? What scheme are they running where you, I don't. This is, listen. So now, in order to get a $12 prescription, I need to go spend $1,200 a month on insurance just to get a $12 prescription. Or I'm going to spend, as long as Amazon has it, $2,715 without insurance. Or if I go straight through a doctor's office or straight through, like, Walgreens, whoever, whatever, I'm going to pay $6 grand. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know how many people out there probably die every single day because they can't afford their medicine? I know y'all understand this. I know you understand this. I know because a lot of you have told me that because of your age and because of you're on disability, you're on your Social Security, you're living off your 401ks, your whatever, that the cost of medicine is absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, do you want to eat today or do you want to have your medicine that you need in order to live? Like, oh, got to make a decision here. This would literally be, do we want to have a house and a vehicle, or do you want to have medicine so that your skin doesn't look like something from some weird movie? Are you fucking kidding me? The level of greed that this shows me is astronomical. And I'm trying not to use the F word more than necessary, but it feels really fucking necessary every sentence right now, because $12 with insurance, $6,000 without. This is like Winn-Dixie to me. I know this is, you're probably like, man, that's a huge like difference, but no, we talked about this way long time ago. If you go to Winn-Dixie and you go to their meat department, they want like $40 effing for some chicken titties, right? But if you happen to give them your phone number, your email address, your date of birth, your firstborn, and get one of their little Winn-Dixie cards, you can get the same $40 chicken for $8.95. But only if you have the stupid fucking card with a barcode on it. Why is this how people are? Why is this how corporations run themselves? Why is this what we allow in the United States of America? The greatest country on earth. The most fucking expensive country on earth is what they need to call us, because there is no reason that something that could save your life, because this, you have to understand. Some people may go, ma'am, it's just your skin. Hello, have you ever wanted to walk out the house when you have bumps and open sores and things all over your body? No, probably not. Do you understand how much that will mess with you mentally, emotionally, not just physically? It's a whole thing. So we're either going to have to, like I said, spend a ton of money on insurance to get, hold on, there's some random dude who stopped right behind me on his bike. It's just weird because I'm in a parking lot all by myself. So now we're just going to focus for all of 2 seconds. I don't know, y'all can't see him if I move, but he's directly behind my car. Out of all the places to stop, bro, you're on a bicycle. I can drive faster than you can pedal. Get moving. 2 seconds. I could pause this, but now we're just doing this for safety reasons. You're staying on here with me because it's just weird timing and locationing. But we're going to keep having our conversation. All right. So medicines are life-saving, right? Our country, for some reason, I say it all the time, profit over people, and that is exactly what this scenario is. If you can sell it for $12, why are you selling it for $6,000? What happened to wanting to have healthy people? Well, we already know the answer to that. There's no money in keeping people healthy. There's no money in a cure. There's no money in whatever else. There's only money in keeping people sick. That's what it comes down to. I know there's this whole phrase that makes way more sense and sounds better, but I am slightly distracted by the broski that's directly behind me. But either way, this is absolutely crazy to me. So now, and it's not even November. It's not November, so I can't even get insurance for my husband yet. And then it's like, okay, well, do I only get it for him so it doesn't cost us an arm and a leg? Because without having an employer, we're having to go through, marketplace bullshit. And insurance is hella expensive. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I see you're behind me, bro. Do not come knock on my window because I will back over you. Move your bike. We're just gonna 2 seconds here. We're staying on together just because I don't know what you're doing, bro. You're going through a bag. It's one of those electric bikes where it looks like maybe he ran out of gas or whatever, but he could still also move. Oh, he just took a sip out of a flask. No, not even a flask. It's a legit liquor bottle. He literally just took a sip of liquor out. Oh, and some orange juice behind it. Son of a... Y'all, I wish there was a way, but... hold on. Because I have it on. I have it on. Where is it? Can y'all see him? He's right there. So he literally is drinking and riding his bike around. just put his hand into his pocket. Look, I am focused, but I'm also not stupid. So we're going to pause and I'm going to get the hell out of this parking lot and I will be back to y'all in just a second. Okay, so we're back. That was just very weird. I don't know. Anyway, so where was I? Okay. Insurance stuff is absolutely crazy. I can't sign up for any insurance till November 1st. And then it's, do I sign up for just my husband? Do I sign up for the whole entire family? Because we're going to be wasting money no matter what if it turns out he needs to take this Otezla stuff. So I'm actually going to the grocery store now. I'm like, listen, you're going to get some kimchi. You're going to get some Greek yogurt. We're going to get some sauerkraut. You're going to get, he already make him take probiotics. He's already on D3 and K2. Now I'm going to get him some fish oil. We're going to go as clean as humanly possible with the way that he's eating stuff and stuff that is designed strictly for his gut microbiome, or however you're supposed to say it. And I'm like, okay, technically we start this stuff, this Otezla stuff. He took his first pill this morning, but my brain is going, I don't want to do this. It's not up to me, obviously. It is his body, and he gets to decide if he wants, because he's the one who's having to deal with all of these issues that are going on, and I know that it is driving him crazy. It is very, very difficult last month or so for us in the sense of everything we've had to go through with this. So it's up to him what he wants to do. But I also worry, there's side effects to everything that you take, right? Number one. Number two, what if this is one of those things where he would literally, according to the dermatologist, this is one of those, you'd have to do this for the rest of your life. But why? Why not talk about the things that could cause this? If you look up psoriasis, it will tell you that a lot of times it is triggered by antibiotics. Hello, I mean, he had a bite before they put him on those antibiotics, and then everything kind of went to hell in a handbasket. So I'm like, okay, well, how about you let the antibiotics get out of your system? We'll eat the correct way. We'll work on your gut. And then if that doesn't work, take the stuff, because heaven forbid you start taking this Otezla stuff and then you can't stop it because now your body needs it in order to stay psoriasis free. I don't want him on something his whole entire life if it's not like legitimately necessary. You know what I mean? It's just a really shitty spot to be in for him. But I know he's not the only person going through it. There's so many people out there who are probably like, listen, I'm having to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month on these medications. And it's because these companies are so fucking greedy. Like, it should not cost that much to have something that you need in order to keep your life on track. I don't even really know how to phrase any of that, because I know at the same time it sounds stupid because I don't know how much they spent to make it. I don't know what their R&D was, or research and development. I have no idea. But at the same time, if you can sell it for $12, you obviously are making a shit ton of profit selling it for $6,000. And that absolutely bothers me. Now, off topic, but on topic, because I love y'all immensely, brain just remembered that October 15th? October 15th is the annual open enrollment period on Medicare. Listen, I talk to you guys all the time about chapter, and I've always been like very upfront on, because I want you guys to have the absolute best care humanly possible with your Medicare, make sure you're on the right plans and everything else, and chapter can help you do that. I told you before, Vivek Ramaswamy and J.D. Vance, they had a hand in getting it started and funding and everything else, because they understand how many people need the help with figuring out what the plans are, because these plans are constantly changing. But now I'm looking at it from a completely different point of view. Please call chapter during open enrollment. Even if you don't think you need to change anything, just call them and be like, hey, if at some point in my life I might need to be on blah, blah, blah medication, does the plan I have cover blah, blah, blah medication? Because heaven forbid you need to be on Otezla and whatever prescription plan you have, Part D, right? Whatever one you have doesn't cover, or maybe even your regular plans, your A, your B, whatever doctor you have won't prescribe it or can't prescribe it, or you just never know what you're going to need to be on. Please call chapter. The phone number is in the pinned comment. 513-898-3528 is the phone number. It's in the pinned comment. It's in the banner of my channel. It's absolutely everywhere, because at this point in time, I mean, I've always understood that you need to make sure that you are able to get the things that you need in order to live. But this, I mean, this really does weirdly different perspective for it. right? Y'all understand what I'm saying. But open enrollment, October 15th through December 7th. Just call Chapter. It is a free phone call. It could take you 2 minutes. It could take you 20 minutes. And they'll either change some stuff for you if it's going to help you, or they'll tell you what you have is perfect and don't change a thing. And it's somebody here in the U.S. that you're going to understand. And you can explain to them. When you call, you can be like, listen, I just want to know, is Otezla covered? Like, what the crap? So effing expensive. It's ridiculous. It's like EpiPens. My husband's deathly allergic to certain things, and we need EpiPens, and they're $500 fucking dollars. Why? Why? The amount of greed out there is staggering some days. Like, when you really step back and look at stuff, you're like, what the crap? Today is one of those what the crap days. Like, what the crap? Like, why? Y'all, I know I sound like a ranting Karen, ranting wife, whatever, but you know what? If the shoe fits, I'm gonna wear both of them. So anyway, listen, I love y'all. I would love any advice you might possibly have. Just throw it in the comments. Any advice, whether it's on a prescription plan that you may know about, whether it's a certain health provider you may know about for unemployed, technically, because we're self-employed, whether it's foods that you would suggest, if you've ever taken Otezla, like how it worked for you, like how you feel, anything like that, anything would be welcome in the comment section here. So I love y'all immensely. I'll tell you that much. But y'all already know that. I'm going to go in the grocery store now and get the things, and then, you know, woo-saw a little bit, because as normal, I have worked myself up into a nice little mood over here. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with me while I either could have got robbed or didn't. So either way, appreciate that. I love y'all. I'll see you later. I'll keep you updated on what's going on here with the Otezla stuff and the skin stuff. But as of right now, that's where we're at. That's what we found out in the last 24 hours. And I'm just kind of like, shit. Right? Right. Anyway, that's all. I love y'all. Goodbye.